It was Christmas Eve in a small Midwestern town, the kind with quiet streets, soft golden streetlights, and wreaths hanging on every door. Snow had been falling since late afternoon, blanketing everything in a stillness that made the world feel a little gentler. 24-year-old Emma drove slowly through the neighborhood, the heater humming, her gloved fingers wrapped around a thermos of hot cocoa. She had volunteered with a local community group to deliver meals to elderly residents spending the holiday alone. She didn't know exactly what to expect, only that she wanted to do something meaningful this year. Her last stop was a small blue house at the edge of town, a place she might not have noticed if it weren't on her delivery list. The porch light flickered softly, and the mailbox leaned slightly, as though time had pushed it forward. Emma stepped out of the car, feeling the crisp air bite her cheeks, and carried a warm holiday meal in a brown paper bag up the walkway. She knocked gently. It took a moment, but the door opened just a few inches. An elderly man with kind, tired eyes peeked out. His white hair was neatly combed, and he wore a thick, knitted sweater that looked older than both of them. "Mr. Thompson?" Emma asked with a gentle smile. "I'm here with the community program. I brought you Christmas dinner." He opened the door wider, his face relaxing. "Oh my, that's very kind of you," he said in a soft, gravelly voice. "Please, come in out of the cold." Emma hesitated for a moment. Volunteers weren't required to go inside, but something about the loneliness in his voice nudged her forward. She stepped into the warm but quiet house. It smelled faintly of pine and cinnamon, though there were no decorations except a small artificial tree sitting on a table. Only one ornament hung on it, a faded, handmade star. "I'm sorry the place isn't much to look at," he said with a small laugh as he motioned her toward the living room. "My wife used to decorate every corner of this house. She passed away 5 years ago. I never quite figured out how to do it the way she did." Emma felt her chest tighten. "The star on the tree. Did she make that?" He nodded, touching the ornament gently. "Back when we were newlyweds, we didn't have money for decorations, so she cut this from an old cereal box and covered it with glitter. She always said it didn't matter how simple things were, Christmas was about presents, not presents." Emma sat with him as he talked, the quiet ticking of a grandfather clock filling the spaces between his words. He told her about their Christmas traditions, how they used to invite neighbors who had nowhere to go, how the house once rang with laughter and voices and the smell of spiced cider. But over the years, friends moved away, family scattered, and the community changed. Now, it was just him and memories that grew heavier this time of year. "Do you have anyone visiting tomorrow?" Emma finally asked, her voice soft. He shook his head. "My son lives across the country. He wanted to come this year, but flights were a mess. And, well, life happens." Emma looked around the living room, the worn armchair, the family photos lined neatly on the mantel, the single forgotten stocking still hanging as if waiting for someone. She felt a warmth spread through her, not from the heater, but from something deeper. "Mr. Thompson," she said gently, "I don't have big plans tomorrow. It's just me and my cat at home. If you'd like, I could stop by again. Maybe bring lunch? We could watch one of those old Christmas movies you mentioned." For a moment, the old man didn't speak. His eyes glistened, and he blinked quickly, as though surprised by his own emotions. "I would like that," he whispered. "Very much." Emma stayed a little longer, helping him set the table and brew a small pot of tea. They talked about books, music, the snowstorm outside, and how hard it is sometimes to ask for help when life grows quieter. When she finally stood to leave, he walked her to the door, steadier than before. "You didn't just bring me dinner," he said, squeezing her hand gently. "You brought me company. That's the best Christmas gift an old man could ask for." As Emma stepped back into the cold evening, she looked up at the sky. Snowflakes drifted slowly under the street lamp, each one catching the light in a way that felt almost magical. She breathed in the crisp air, her heart lighter than it had been in months. On the drive home, she realized something important. Sometimes helping the elderly isn't about big gestures. It's about reminding someone that they are still seen, still valued, still connected to the world around them. That a simple knock on the door can turn a lonely holiday into a shared moment of hope. And that Christmas, as Mr. Thompson's wife once said, isn't really about decorations or gifts or even traditions. It's about presence, about showing up, about making sure no one has to feel forgotten. Emma smiled to herself as she turned onto her street. This Christmas Eve, she thought, was one she'd remember for the rest of her life.